I get this so many times that I try to use an objection handling script, or I try to use a specific script inside my sales call. But whenever I do that, people tend to close off. So, why is that actually happening? In this video, I'll be showing you the exact reason, and I'll also show you how to speak and sell to anyone, because there's a way on how you do that. The prospect never closes off. So, most coaches, service providers, the biggest mistake they do is they study the sales strategies and techniques of their own industry obsessively, and then they wonder why they sound like everyone else. Whereas here's exactly what happens when you lose an enrollment in the call. Because before the call, whenever the prospect comes on the call, the prospect would have watched your reel, they would have read your testimonial, or they would have even attended your competitors' webinars. That's what they would have done if they're a serious prospect. And when they get on a call with you, you say the same thing every other coach is saying, or every other service provider is saying. What you do is so familiar to them that you don't feel to them as an authority. You are no unique, because you are saying the exact same thing in the exact same way. So they don't register you as an authority at all. And guys, remember, familiar doesn't close high ticket sale. What closes high ticket sale is authority and uniqueness. Uniqueness is the most important thing. If you've ever gotten that objection that, hey, how are you different from other people, or that person is charging less, that person is charging less, why does this happen? Because people don't think of you as an authority or a unique figure. Because what you are doing is, you have this script, exact script that everyone else is using. You come in the call and use the exact same script, and they're like, oh, I just heard that from other person. All right, so the problem here is not your offer. The problem is your language of how you're selling to people. And here's what almost no one in the coaching industry who's trying to help you in sales is talking about. Persuasion framework are industry agnostic. What do I mean by that? Every persuasion or sales framework can be transferred from one industry to other industry. So this, what I mean is, if in X industry there's a persuasion framework, you can use that exact framework and use in your industry as well, rather than being stuck in the same framework you have been taught and everyone else is using. Because the psychology that closes a 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh, or 5 lakh deal is identical to the psychology of what closes a car, a home, or a SaaS subscription. So because the humans are not changing, what is changing is only product. So if you only study coaching content, coaching sales strategies, or your freelancing sales strategies, agency sales strategies, or your own industry, whichever industry you are, if you're just learning those sales strategies, that's a very, very tiny pool, because you are using the same phrases everyone else is using as well, as you got those strategies from someone else who has been teaching it to everyone else like you. So you'll sound like everyone. So if you study outside your industry, there are unlimited framework, fresh language that no one else is using, and that competitor have never used or seen, or neither your prospect have seen. And when you use that, you become the authority when you're talking to people in the sales call, or even when you're doing general pitching. This is the most important framework your competitor does not even know exist. And let me just show you how does this framework works. This is like a 3-part framework. First, what you have to do is you have to identify the mechanism, not the words. What do I mean by that? When you watch a sales video from other industry, don't listen for the scripts. Understand what is the technique which they're actually following. Are they using breakdowns? Are they using cost of inaction? Are they building urgency? What exactly are they doing when they're trying to handle a certain objection? Once you identify that, all right, this is the objection and this is what the person is doing. Let's say the objection is a lot of money and the person is breaking down the money, and that's how they're handling the objection. So that's what you have to understand, the mechanism. Once you understand the mechanism, the second part is you translate that mechanism into your industry rather than copying. Don't copy. All right. Take that mechanism and rebuild it according to your offers, your numbers. Don't just copy the script. I'll just give you a live example. So, this cost of an action framework is modeled from a real estate sales training. All right. So, the real estate sales training looks something like this whenever they have to show the cost of an action. Every month you wait, you are still paying rent. That money is gone forever. Meanwhile, the property appreciates every single month that you're delaying, because that's not free. Waiting is just paying without owning anything. That's what is happening right now. So let's say the person gave some cost of an act, said I need to think about it, or right now is not the time. Then we are just breaking down and showing the cost of an action in a different industry. That's how it's being handled. Then what you can do is you can take it in your coaching space or whichever space. You will be like, you have been trying to figure this out from 8 months, and coaches in this program are hitting like 5 to 8 lakhs in 90 days. So the investment is not 1.5 lakhs. You have already left more than that on the table. Why you have been deciding? Because the delay is never free. Guys, this is just an example where I'm showing you how to translate from one industry to other industry. It's not a real objection handling script. All right. So just to help you understand like what you have to do when it comes to finding the objection. So here the psychology, if you see, the psychology is same, but the words are just being changed. That's what you have to do. And ultimately the most important thing, even if you get these objections, it's not like just getting the objection is the game. You have to drill those objections until you can't get it wrong. Most coaches just have these scripts with them, or they'll just go through those scripts 1 or 2 times, but that does not help you at all. You have to drill down the objections, practice these objections until you have learned, you have those objection handlers inside your brain, and you can never get it wrong, because getting it right once does not make sense. You have to learn till the time you can't get it wrong, until you are doing it on autopilot. When you flow like this objection was created by you, that's when these objection handlers are effective. I see this is the biggest mistake people do. They try to use any objection handlers, they're like reading it from scripts rather than flowing it. Because, guys, words flowing like water shows your personality. All right. And that's what comes through rap count. All right. It's not like everyone can flow like words. They're doing it because they have practiced it multiple times. So, how to build this and how to use this framework in next 20 minutes, I'll just show you that. So, first, minute 1 to 10, watch a sales video from a completely different industry: real estate, SaaS, insurance, automotive. If you're a life coach, then business coaching, whatever industry which is different. Ask one question while you're watching: what is this technique actually doing? What is the type of technique they're using? Once you have seen that, a 10-minute video, name the mechanism in one sentence, like this person is using cost of an action, social proof. Just name it whatever you can. It does not matter. Once you have named it, then you just rewrite it according to your industry. No perfectionism needed. Just rewrite it. Once you have done it, very important part, record yourself delivering it on your phone. Watch it back, not for the comfort, but it's very important to understand that, is the logic sounding? Is the logic landing or not? Is the logic something that people will believe? And would you yourself buy in this logic or not? And if that is right, that means this is the right handler that has been created. Then you just drill it down every single day. You should have an entire document of objection handlers that you should be going through until the objections are fit in your mind, until you can't imagine getting it wrong. So the best way to do it is having this commitment 5 days a week. If you're doing it straight for 16 days, you'll have an entire library of objection handlers that no one else is using. And that is where the game changes completely. And the top coaches closing 50,000 to 80 lakh a year are not the ones who know their framework better than everyone else, guys. Always remember, everyone knows their framework. They are the ones who have built the largest toolkit of human persuasion framework. If you see any coach who's making a lot of money and you think that they're making a lot of money because they're so good, that's completely false. They're making a lot of money because they have cracked the persuasion sales framework, which they have pulled from multiple other industries, pulled from real estate, automotive, SaaS, insurance, every other industry, and learned how to apply it in the right way in their own industry. When you do this, the game completely changes for you. So make sure you have amazing skills of your niche, but you have to go outside of your niche to learn some new sales techniques, and that's where you become different and unique.